Okay, let's talk about money, but probably not in the way you're used to. We're going to forget the complicated charts, all the confusing jargon. Instead, we're diving into Morgan Housel's incredible book, The Psychology of Money, to explore one simple, game-changing idea. When it comes to wealth, what's going on in your head is way more important than what's in your bank account.
So chew on this for a second. This is the central question of the entire book. What if getting good with money has nothing to do with how smart you are or what you studied in school, but everything to do with how you handle things like fear and greed and your own ego? The big idea here is that financial success is actually a soft skill where your own personal history and your emotions are way more powerful than any spreadsheet.
So let's kick things off with this first huge idea, why we all seem, well, a little bit crazy when it comes to money. It turns out our financial choices are almost never based on cold, hard logic. Nope. They're shaped by our unique and often really emotional life experiences.
I mean, you've seen this, right? Your friend who's a genius at their job blows their entire paycheck on something wild. Or maybe you know someone who just refuses to invest a dime, even though they have savings piling up. It looks completely irrational, maybe even a little crazy. But what if it's not?
And here is the absolute key. Those decisions that look crazy from the outside, they make perfect sense to the person making them. They're the logical result of the world they saw and the lessons they learned growing up. The only problem is, everyone's world and everyone's lessons are totally different.
This explains it perfectly. Just imagine someone who grew up seeing their parents lose everything in a recession. To them, money means one thing: security. Risk is the enemy. They'll save every dollar they can. Now, picture someone else who grew up during a huge economic boom. They saw people getting rich all around them. To them, risk is opportunity. It's how you get ahead. So are either of them crazy? No way. They're both just acting perfectly rationally based on the completely different realities they experienced.
But it's not just about our personal history, is it? There are these invisible forces out there that have a massive impact on our financial lives, and we often mistake them for skill or genius. Let's talk about luck, risk, and time. Just take the story of Bill Gates. Of course he's a genius, nobody's denying that, but he also had an insane stroke of luck. His high school in the 1960s was one of the only schools in the entire world with a computer. His best friend, Kent Evans, was right there with him, just as smart, just as ambitious. They were planning to conquer the world together. But Kent got hit by the other side of that coin, risk. He died in a tragic mountain climbing accident before they even graduated. You see, same skill, same ambition, totally different outcomes because of forces completely outside their control.
So the lesson here is so important. When we succeed, it is incredibly tempting to believe it was all us, 100% skill. And this quote is a powerful warning that when you ignore the role luck played, you get overconfident. And that's when you can make some really catastrophic mistakes.
But here's the thing. While luck and skill are huge factors, Housel argues there's an even more powerful force at work, one that's actually available to every single one of us. And that force is time. This is where real, lasting wealth is truly built.
It's the absolute magic of compounding. Seriously, think of it like a tiny snowball at the top of a very long hill. At first, as it rolls, it barely grows. It's not very exciting. But you give it enough time, and that snowball picks up more and more snow until it becomes this massive, unstoppable force. It's why something like 90% of Warren Buffett's net worth was earned after his 65th birthday. His real superpower wasn't just being a great investor. It was being a great investor for a ridiculously long time.
Okay, this leads us to a super important distinction that, honestly, most people completely miss. Getting rich and staying rich are not the same thing. In fact, they are two completely different games that require totally different skills. First up, getting rich. Think of this as playing offense. It's all about taking risks, being optimistic, putting yourself out there, and swinging for the fences. But staying rich, that is all about defense. It's about survival, it's about humility, and it's about avoiding that one huge mistake that can wipe you right back to zero.
And you have to understand this difference, because the mindset that makes you a fortune, that optimism, that ambition, that risk-taking, is very often the exact same mindset that will cause you to lose it all. To stay wealthy, you have to switch from offense to defense. It becomes about survival, about being humble, and about having a healthy dose of fear that reminds you that everything you built can disappear just as fast. So we've talked a lot about the how of building wealth, but what about the why?
Why are we even doing this in the first place? This is where the book gets really profound, exploring what wealth is actually for.
So, think about this for a second. You see a flashy Ferrari drive past. Your first thought might be, wow, that person must be so cool. But are you really admiring the driver? Household calls this the man in the car paradox. The truth is, you're not admiring the driver at all. You're using their car as a prop to imagine yourself being admired by other people. And this perfectly captures the difference between being rich and being wealthy. Richness is what you see. It's the Ferrari, the designer watch, the fancy vacation. It's money that's been spent to show people how much you have. But wealth? Wealth is what you don't see. It's the money that's been kept, sitting in savings and investment accounts that buys you something far more valuable, freedom. And that right there, that's the ultimate goal. The true purpose of money isn't just to buy more stuff. It's to buy control. Control over your time, the ability to make your own choices, to live life on your own terms. That freedom, that autonomy, is the most valuable dividend money could ever pay.
And all of this brings us to the final and maybe the most empowering idea of all. When it comes to your money, you have to play your own game. The best financial plan for you isn't going to be found on some spreadsheet. It's the one that's built for your life and your personality.
This is where being reasonable is so much better than trying to be perfectly rational. For instance, a hardcore economist on a spreadsheet would tell you that you're an idiot for paying off your low-interest mortgage early. But if that debt stresses you out every single night, if it keeps you up worrying, then paying it off for your own peace of mind is the perfectly reasonable thing to do. The best financial plan is never the one that's mathematically optimal. It's the one you can actually stick with because it helps you sleep at night.
So I want to leave you with this question. Forget what the experts say you should do. What is the one financial move that helps you sleep at night? Is it having a huge cash cushion? Is it paying off that one annoying debt? Is it avoiding a certain risky investment? Find what that is for you, because that decision, the one that gives you peace of mind, that's the real foundation of a financial life you can not only build, but one you can actually be happy living.